On Christmas morning, Shawn Williams, a young man from Brooklyn, woke up to the cold but familiar hum of a city outside his window. Snowflakes danced in the breeze, falling gently onto the sidewalks of Bed-Stuy, where he'd grown up. Christmas was a big deal for Shawn, and not just because of the presents or the food. It was the one day he could count on everyone coming together, a time where family and friends created a warmth at the chill. Outside could never touch, Shawn's apartment was modest, just enough space for him and his mom, who had been working double shifts at the hospital to keep their heads above water. Money was tight, as it had been for most of his life, but they had each other. This year, though, he wanted to make Christmas extra special for her. She had sacrificed so much for him, and he wanted to give back in a way that would show her just how deeply he cared. He didn't have much, but he'd spent weeks secretly working with their neighbor, Mrs. Alvarez, learning her recipe for coquito, her famous Puerto Rican eggnog that Mrs. Alvarez had laughed, saying, "Boy, you're going to make your mama so proud." And today he was finally ready. With careful hands, Shawn decorated their tiny living room with string lights he'd found at a thrift store and a small tree a friend had given him. Then he started cooking, filling the apartment with the scent of cinnamon, nutmeg, and warm vanilla. The sound of his mom's key in the lock startled him. She was home early. "Oh, Shawn," she said, taking it all in, her eyes welling up. He poured her a glass of the coquito and watched as she took her first sip, closing her eyes as the flavors washed over her. It wasn't just a drink. It was all the late nights, the small sacrifices, the unspoken love they shared, brought to life in that one sweet sip. For the first time in years, they sat together with nothing but each other's presence. They reminisced, laughed, and held hands in the glow of the lights, talking about old Christmases and dreaming of better days. There were no grand gifts, no sparkling jewels or towering trees, just a young man and his mother, sharing a moment of joy and gratitude in the warmth of their tiny Brooklyn apartment. And that night, as Shawn lay in bed, he felt an unfamiliar but comforting peace. He knew with absolute certainty that no matter what, they'd always have each other, and that was the greatest gift of all.